Hey guys, today I want to talk about losing weight as a lazy procrastinator. If that's you, you want to find out why you're doing it and how to stop, keep watching.
We're on a journey, looking back on the things that we've taken for granted, but feels like
I have been a procrastinator pretty much since the day I was born. Like, I didn't talk until I could speak in full sentences. I didn't walk until I was basically a year old. I am the queen of procrastination. Basically, now that I'm grown, it has leaked into pretty much every aspect of my life. My weight loss journey, my health, cleaning my house, taking care of my skin, all of it, everything. Anything you can possibly think of, I can find a way to procrastinate. I can find a way to be lazy. I can do it. I can. Why do I keep procrastinating even though I know that it's bad for me? Procrastination and laziness, it all happens when your drive to delay is stronger than your drive to act. So, what do I mean by those things? So, a drive to act. How driven are you to take action in the moment? It is specifically influenced by self control and motivation. Two of the most fickle emotions, states of being, however you want to think of them. How many people are motivated and self controlled all the time? Not me. I'm putting my hands down in my lap because that is the opposite of who I am. Then you have the drive to delay. This one is me all day, every day. That's when you have a stronger desire to feel better in the short term. When you want to avoid negative emotions like anxiety or fear that's associated with a certain task. Perfectionism. We all know that's a problem for me. Feeling overwhelmed, expected effort, so thinking about how hard it's going to be. All of those things can overwhelm your desire to act. The other big one is self-efficacy. How do I feel about my ability to do things? It's often influenced by your past experiences. How many times have I failed to lose weight in the past? How many times have I tried and failed? How many times have I screwed it up? So I have a screwed up sense of self-efficacy because I don't feel like I'm capable of completing the task, and that keeps me from wanting to complete the task in the first place. So that can lead to a procrastination cycle. So I'm anxious about a task, so I procrastinate, which makes me more anxious about similar tasks in the future and more likely to procrastinate in doing them in the future. So that's why. So how do we fix it? The first step is to assess when and why you procrastinate. So identify the situations where you procrastinate. For me, there's pretty much any situation. Like I could procrastinate myself. I'm a lazy myself out of anything. Pretty much. I could do it. I promise. For you, though, it may just be specific things like exercise or meal planning or whatever it is in your journey that you have a hard time with, that you tend to procrastinate with. What are those things? Identify them. Then identify how you procrastinate. So for me, it's browsing social media, watching YouTube. Those are the big ones. Just finding some way to distract myself from doing the things that I know need to be done. And then you need to isolate your why. Why do you procrastinate? I linked down in the description an article that I used to kind of help research this video, and it has like a laundry list of reasons why people procrastinate. The big ones for me are prioritization of short-term mood. I'm gonna have a lot more fun looking at social media and watching YouTube than I am exercising or meal planning or meal prepping or what have you. I might find a task boring or unpleasant. All of the above. Anxiety or fear, feeling overwhelmed, words are hard. Perfectionism is a big one. If I feel like I can't do something perfectly from the get-go, then I'm less inclined to want to even start to do it in the first place. Another one is expected effort. I think it's going to take a long time, so I don't want to do it. Or I think it's going to be difficult for me to do, or I could possibly fail at it because I failed at it in the past. So what's the point? So once you've identified all of those things and you understand why you procrastinate, how you procrastinate, the situations when you procrastinate, do you do it first thing in the morning generally, before you're going to bed, at lunchtime? Like, when are the times that you're more likely to procrastinate or to be lazy about the things that you know you need to do? The next step is to set some specific and realistic goals. Everybody's heard about setting goals, right? You know how to set a goal. I want to do this thing, right? But being specific about them and making them realistic, those are the hard part. So when I say realistic goals, I mean things that you can control. So setting a goal like, I want to lose 30 pounds by the end of the year. Can you control how quickly your body will let go of weight? No. What can you control? I'm going to meal plan every week this month. So it's specific and it's realistic. I know that I can meal plan every single week this month. I know that's something I'm capable of doing, and it has a timeline associated with it. So every week I'm going to meal plan for a month. I'm going to track my calories, which, by the way, I just started using a new app because my MyFitnessPal is doing some things that I'm not super happy about. Macros First, if you want to give it a try, I'm really enjoying it because it helps make my next goal, which is eating 30% of my calories from protein, much easier. I plan on doing a video eventually on how to use the app because it has definitely been a shift from MyFitnessPal, but in a good way. So that more to come. So tracking my calories every single day, eating 30% of my calories from protein. These are all things that I can control that are specific and realistic. Do 2 resistance or strength training exercise sessions for at least 15 minutes. Twice a week. My goals for today, specifically and realistically, are to decorate my mantle for Halloween and to do my nails. Which brings me to my very first sponsor on this channel. Madam Glam sent me some gel polish to try, and since I need to do my nails anyway, I'm going to do them for Halloween. I've had a lot of you guys asking me about how I do my nails and asking me to do a tutorial on doing my nails. This is not going to be super in-depth because, let's face it, I am not a nail technician, but I do love doing my nails, and I know you guys have asked me to do it, and you've asked me about my dip powder. And here's the thing, you guys, I have my cosmetology license, so I have been doing hair, nails, and makeup for years. And there is a very steep learning curve with dip powder. And if you want to learn how to do dip powder, I highly recommend the channel Sip and Dip. But gel polish, it's just like putting on nail polish, but it's going to last a lot longer because it cures. It's harder. It helps keep your nails from flaking. But the cool thing is you can actually do it over dip polish as well. And it's a lot easier to work with, and you don't have as many of the annoying parts of dealing with dip powder. So I'll show you that a little bit later. But those are my goals today, specifically. Decorate my mantle, do my nails. Once you've identified and set those specific and realistic goals, then you're going to create an action-based plan for those goals, taking into account my specific procrastination or laziness problem, right? So I've identified the why and the how and all of those things. So once I look at that, then I can say, for example, for my mantle, I can commit first to a tiny step. So I'm going to set a 20-minute timer, and I am going to get as much done as possible on my mantle. That addresses the whole prioritization of short-term mood and all of that, and the expected effort, and also it addresses the perfectionism thing, because if I know I've only got 20 minutes to get it done, then I'm going to work on it as quickly as possible. Let's get that done. All right, so let's set a timer. Okay, now let's figure out where we're going to put these babies. And yes, I know that one hangs lower. Ta-da! Ah, 1 second to spare. The next step for an action-based plan is to break your tasks into small steps. So when I do my nails, guys, it's a little overwhelming. It's a long process, especially if I'm doing dip powder. It takes a long time. Today, I'm going to be doing something that I've never done before, which is filling my dip powder instead of actually removing the full set and doing a whole new set from scratch. And that part, like removing the nails themselves, like it takes forever. So because I'm attempting something new, that whole perfectionist and fear of not doing things perfectly, that definitely creeps in. And I have been avoiding this task for over a week. Now, granted, I wasn't feeling well last week when I was supposed to do this, so I did have a very convenient excuse. But I need to get it done. So I've broken it up into much smaller steps. So rather than just do my nails, I'm going to decide on the design. I'm going to set up my nail station. I'm going to remove my old nail color and fill my dip. And then I'm going to do my gel nail art. And again, thank you so much to Madam Glam for sending me these gel polishes. They are so cool. I've never worked with cat eye polishes before, and I am so excited to play with them. So let's go get it done. I'm super excited. So Madam Glam reached out to me and asked if they could send me some gel polishes. And I know you guys have been really excited about the dip, and I just feel like there's so much work involved with dip. It takes forever for me to do it, and I just don't feel like for most people it's practical, like especially not the way that I do my dip nails. But gel is so much easier to deal with. They sent me this adorable little curing thing. So they sent me a base coat, a top coat, and this is a no wipe top coat. These are really nice bottles. They are HEMA free, cruelty free, 21 free, and all the good free things. You start with a base coat and you cure it, and then you do 2 coats of color and then 1 coat of the top coat. And then I've never gotten to play with cat eye polishes before, but these are the ones that you see that like you use the magnet to make nifty little patterns in it. So we're gonna play with that. And then I got this kind of galaxy looking one. I thought that would be really fun for some Halloween nails. First things first, I'm gonna put on a thin coat, a base coat, and cure it for 60 seconds. Oh, the consistency of this is really nice. The cool thing about gel is that it stays runny, which is why you wanna make sure you don't have too much. But it also means you have plenty of time to play with getting it around. You also wanna make sure, sorry, there's a little fuzz right here, that you get it wrapped all the way around the free edge so that it doesn't peel. And you can either cure after every finger or you can do the whole hand. It's better if you do the thumb last because it doesn't stay flat. So I'll need to go back and make sure that it didn't drip. And if you get any on your skin, you just want to kind of go back and wipe it off. On this one, I accidentally flooded my cuticle. You can see that there's a bunch of product. So we want to get it out of there so that you don't have any lifting. With doing gel on top of dip, normally you buff the nails so that they're nice and soft and smooth. But whenever you're doing gel, you want to make sure that it has a rough surface, so it actually ends up being less work that way. So you use a coarser grit and then you just leave it like that to put on the gel so that it has something to stick to. And gel is self-leveling, so it'll just kind of settle itself down. And then with this little guy, I'm going to do just these fingers first. There it goes. Okay. So if I push it twice, that goes 60 seconds. And I'm going to cure all 4 of those, and then I'll put in the thumb afterwards because he's too small for them to all fit at the same time. Please hold. I'm going to go grab a black gel and a white gel. I have 2 layers of white. So these colors that I have are some other gels that I have that are nowhere near the quality of these. And let me tell you how much easier this base was to apply than this white. It took way too long. Kind of let it settle a little bit. And then we're gonna play with the magnet. And you can just kind of manipulate it any which way you want. Oh, that's fun. Okay, sorry, I could do this for hours. Once you're happy with it, then you can lock it in place with the UV. And now I'm gonna try this one. This one is Cosmic Fire, and this one was Super Cat Eye. Oh. Oh, wow. Oh, but it's so cool looking. I hope you guys can see that. Okay, I'm happy with that one. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and cure those. So gel is also really good for nail art because unlike acrylic paint, it won't dry out on you. So I'm gonna do a little poop, poop. I'm gonna take my little brush and I'm gonna give her some eyelashes. Oh my gosh, she's so cute. See her? I'm gonna cure her again. I'm gonna put this color on the rest of the 3. Oh wow, you can see that I am a horrible nail painter, but the nice thing about gel is it's very forgiving. So I can just clean up my mistakes. I'm gonna cure those 2. Now you know why I don't show you painting my nails. So I'm gonna finish curing these. I'm gonna paint this one and then paint my other hand. And then I'm going to put a top coat on, and then I will come back and show you the finished result. So this is how they turn out, and they are so cute. I'm hoping you can see the cat eye. There we go. So you can see how it moves. And then the little ghosty with her eyelashes. And this one, the cat eye is a little more subtle, and I didn't really manipulate it as well as I would have liked to, but it's a learning curve. I'm super happy with how they turned out. This purple sparkly one is so pretty. If you guys are interested in trying out these gel polishes, there's a link down in the description and a code that'll give you 30% off of your entire order. Thanks to Madam Glam for sending me these polishes to play with because it was a lot of fun. Okay. The next step to like an action-based plan for my specific procrastination problem, and maybe it's yours, would be to give yourself permission to make mistakes by accepting that your work is not going to be perfect. These fingernails took me way longer than they should have because I'm constantly reevaluating the fact that they're not perfect yet. They're not perfect yet. I need to keep doing it. They're not perfect yet. As a result, this fingernail is way shorter than it should be. So, but with weight loss, you guys, I will sit and fuss over my app, over a recipe, over 1 or 2 grams, because, I mean, it's going to make such a big difference. It has to be perfect. Nothing's ever going to be perfect, you guys. And that is such a huge thing for me. Like, I don't want to clean my room because it's going to take forever for me to get it done perfectly. Good enough is good enough, guys. Make your work easier by preparing everything in advance. When I was working on decorating my mantle, I set the 20-minute timer before I had everything out and ready, and it ended up taking me an extra 10 minutes because I had to go around and find everything and it caused some frustration in the middle that I think made it take longer than it would have. Whereas if I would have just gone, found all my supplies in the first place, had everything put together, then I would have been able to just get stuck in and get it done, and it would have been way less frustrating. So that's something that I will definitely make sure that I do in the future. I'm usually pretty good about doing that to begin with. Like when I start a recipe, for example, I take all of my ingredients out and I have everything ready so that I'm not having to stop in the middle of the recipe to go around and hunt for things. It also makes sure that I don't leave anything out because that's a thing that I do sometimes. This is a big one for me. Make your tasks more enjoyable. Put on some music. Anytime I'm cleaning the house or if I'm doing the dishes, yes, Q, I do the dishes. I turn on music and I turn it on loud and I dance around and I sing and it makes the time go by and it makes it more enjoyable. And then when I think about doing that task again in the future, I think, oh, I'll just have a rockin' out session and it'll be great. Same thing with exercise. If I know I'm going to be doing exercise and I put on some music with it, it makes it far more enjoyable for me. Sometimes I will procrastinate in the middle of a task. Yep, I'm that person. Eliminate distractions, guys. My phone is a huge distraction for me. I get notifications constantly from YouTube comments, Instagram comments, any kind of comments, social media, texts from Nikki. I love Nikki. I do. I love her so much. But she'll send me messages, and instead of ignoring them, I feel like I have to respond to them right away. So when I'm in the middle of a task where I know I need to get it done, I'll put my phone on Do Not Disturb for like an hour or two. And it is amazing the amount of work that I get done when I don't hear notifications every few seconds, because I'm not capable of ignoring them. A good way to identify and address your fears is to think about the advice that you would give a friend. Isn't it amazing that we can be so hard on ourselves and so harsh and so critical? But if our friend was having the same issue, the advice that we give them would be so sage and so full of grace. But when we run across those same issues ourselves, all we do is beat ourselves up. I am so guilty of that, you guys. Learn to treat yourself like a friend. I give you guys some advice. I don't know if it's great advice, but I give you advice. And when I think about it, I'm like, why don't I do this myself? Because I beat myself up just like you guys do. But my first go-to isn't the kind of advice that I give you. It's talking about how I should have done the thing that I knew that I needed to do in the first place, Increase your motivation. So instead of the only motivator being the number on the scale, track the number of days that you succeed in achieving your goals. Put something on your phone. Do a calendar reminder. My favorite, make a checklist and celebrate every time you check something off. Have a little dance party, 30-second dance party. Find ways to celebrate your milestones, because if the only thing that you have to celebrate is the number on the scale, there's going to be times when you have nothing to celebrate and you feel like it's all for nothing, and you're going to keep procrastinating, and you're going to keep putting off the things you need to do in order to eventually get you to the number that you want to see. Start with the easiest task first. So if you're meal planning, maybe check your fridge for leftovers first. See what exactly you have that's going to carry over to the next week that you can use and implement so that you're having to make less food. So those tasks become a lot less daunting when you start with the easy part first. Break it down into those steps like we talked about earlier, and always start with the easy stuff first. This has been a big one for me lately because my weight loss has really started to slow down. So as my losses have slowed, I'm approaching almost 100 pounds lost. I'm not losing the weight that I used to. And so I don't have the huge, number on the scale, the huge loss on the scale every week to celebrate. So instead, I've been reflecting on the success that I've already had. If you missed my what 1 year on a GLP-1 looks like, definitely check that video out here. I can't tell you how many times I've watched that short and cried, because it's just crazy for me to see how far I've come. I don't even look like the same person anymore to me. I don't even recognize the person in those first videos. I never saw myself that way. But now that I am where I am, it's crazy to look back and celebrate the success that I've had up to this point. The last one is so very important, you guys. Give yourself grace. You're never going to do everything perfectly. You're never going to absolutely smash every task that you think that you need to get done in order to have a successful weight loss journey. You're going to miss a workout from time to time. You're going to be sick and not feel up to cooking and going out to eat more than you would like. You're going to do all of those things. But in the long run, sticking to it and staying the course is way more important than one missed task. So don't throw the baby out with the bathwater, guys. Give yourself some grace. Allow yourself the time to heal, to refresh yourself. Enjoy yourself with your friends and family. Don't say no to going out and enjoying time with people because you're worried that you might eat something that you shouldn't. Give yourself grace. That's it for me today, you guys. Thank you so much for being here. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a like and let me know down in the comments if you're a lazy procrastinator and what it is that you have been procrastinating on doing so that I can encourage you to get your butt in gear. If you're not tired of seeing my face, YouTube is going to suggest some videos for you to watch after this. Please feel free to check them out, and I will see you in the next one. Bye, guys.
To be better without what's been holding us back now.